Well, what I found interesting was, how the NFL responded. So starting off the week, I'm sure you were familiar with Drew Brees. He got on an interview and, kind of made an ass of himself. I'll go ahead and pull up the clip, but basically said that he can't really get down with or respect somebody that kneels for the flag.
Right.
And so I'll go ahead and pull up the clip and we'll watch it now.
Is Chance still there? Chance, you there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay.
Teammates and players. Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States or our country.
Yeah, the thing about that, man, I can talk about that too. It never was about that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
Ever.
that's what people kind of came out and said. Aaron Rodgers even came on and, he's
Much respect to him, by the way.
Huh?
And much respect to Aaron Rodgers, by the way. He's been
Yeah.
very,
And I mean, he's always kind of had this stigma that he's an asshole or that, he's a head case. But, he didn't have to say anything. The fact that he did so right after Drew Brees put his foot in his mouth. But,
right.
I mean, it's just kind of tone deaf. And, I mean, even for those that didn't realize it before that now are kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. At least you can understand that they are have finally come to realize kind of the situation. Like, all right, there's growth. There's a increased perspective, a more open mind. Yeah. Whereas Drew Brees, come on, man. Come on. Because look, I love the national anthem. I would love when the teams were all up there and they were looking up at the flag crying, but just because of that pride and that love for the game, it was more of the ceremony of the big game is about to go down. So initially when, the whole situation was going on, I remember thinking all right, well, I don't like that that the players are protesting the flag. And the more you think about it, it's I never knew about that hidden verse that was part of the national anthem. I never really understood, I guess, that at that time, but then it was okay, well, clearly it's not about lack of patriotism or lack of, American. It's more of I'm not proud of where the country is right now, and you have to fight for what you want it to be. The country is what you want it to be, and that's what it's about. So 2020, Drew Brees is still thinking, Stone Age.
Yeah, like you said, he just tone deaf, man. And about the situation, I don't think Drew Brees is a bad guy. I literally think he just didn't think, he spoke before he actually thought, he didn't just sit back, look at things from a grander scale. He took it to disrespect the military right away, and it's not about that. But the thing I can respect about Drew Brees is I believe that he is sorry, though, because he actually gave 3 apologies. He actually went at Trump, too, which I was I didn't know that till a couple of days ago. But he went at Trump. As Trump say, you shouldn't have to apologize or something like that. And
I think he probably just kind of went brain dead in that moment and just went back to how he was always answering the question. Didn't even really think about what was going on, and then probably afterwards was oh.
Yeah, because
the response was
right. Because back in the day, he said it the same response, and it wasn't really he didn't get criticized nearly as bad. But for 2020, it's a different era now. Shit does matter. And we've been fighting for this for a while, so he just didn't think of that. So that's my take on that. What are you about to say, Chance?
I was gonna say I don't think he even knew what the fuck was going on, at all. He was just like you said, he went into autopilot from 3 or 4 years ago. Giving the same media, the media, the fucking spiel.
Right.
Dudes in sports, they're not supposed to really be media trained or anything like that. They kind of just do that, because they are the face of the franchise, things like that. So I think he just went to autopilot and was just the flag, whatever. It had nothing to even do with that, So
right.
Yeah.
But now he knows.
Now he knows.
And I mean, some players forgave him. Some players, I read today, Malik Jackson said he's coming after him. You know, no like threat like Bounty Gate, but like
Yeah, on the
I'll
field.
forgive you
Right.
basically. But what I thought was really cool was the NFL players coming together to make this video. Did you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
see the one that all
Yes.
the players stitched together? This is cool. So we're
Mhm.
gonna share this. I felt like this was really impactful, and it's funny because well, it's not funny, but it's interesting when you think about the part where they're talking about what if it was me? You know, what if
Mhm.
it was me? Even like just looking at it as like a pragmatic person, like, man, it's sad to say, I bet a lot of people would be hurt because they'd be thinking about their fantasy team or something ridiculous like that.
Right, which is
I didn't
fucked
really
up.
understand the cause, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, I thought it was just impactful because of the people that don't really understand. Maybe this is another way to frame, here's what's going on, you know, not even from the silly fantasy football comment, you know, but
Right.
I'm like, hey, we're real people out here, you know. You humanize me because you care about me in some fashion, you
Mhm.
know. So I'll just shut up and we'll watch the video.
Yeah, it really was a good video, though. I'm glad they came together and did that.
George Floyd. We need to ask you to listen to the
I like the fact that Patrick Mahomes like spoke out too, you know, because he's like
Super
number
Bowl
one quarterback
MVP,
right now.
you know.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Because back in the day, they weren't doing stuff like this because it risked their like career, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why like I respect Cap, man. I know like, you know, we talked about the declining, but he still tried to stand for something though, and he got shitted on, you know. And so I don't know, I just think it is dope, man, you know, that how he did what he did and then everybody's doing what they're doing now, you know.
I like brands like you mentioned earlier, Nike, you know, immediately jumping on it like, hey, we side with Cap, you know, like they made it known right away we're for this. So I think that kind of helped ease up some of that maybe fear of speaking out because you lose your endorsement. They kind of,
Right.
hey, here's where we're at. And I think that was big too because like it or not, I think some people are thinking that way until now. I think things are a lot more open now. So
Yeah.
Right.
hey, I know that's like a serious note, but didn't Odell at the end look like he was trying to finesse? Like, hey,
Oh, he's trying to spit game. Yeah, a little light skin look. But nah, yeah, it was very dope. And I hope that some people, yeah, the little lick, you know, lick your lips and all that. But nah, it was a dope video. So I hope that it reached people who really get it. Like, hey, you know, like you said, this can be like your idol, and it happens. If it happened to them, you'd be devastated. You know, look at, you know, R.I.P. Kobe. You know what I mean? Like everybody's devastated. So it can happen to anybody. You know.
I think that kind of, I mean, opened people up to seeing a bigger picture. As tragic as that was, I mean, that was awful that happened. But I feel like the one thing that did, unlike anything I can remember, is unite people. I mean, all races, all countries, all ethnicities, all ages of people just put aside all their differences for Kobe. And that's why even me, look, I was never a fan. And I know we bring it up all the time, but that just shows you like certain people can really make an impact, you know?
Yep. Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
The NFL responded. Did you see this awkward Roger Goodell video?
Yeah.
He's trying. I'll say this. I'll give them credit for finally coming out and saying like, "Hey, we might have been dumb about this in the past. You know, we'll be better." Obviously, you know, actions speak louder than words. But again, I think this is a step. You know, so let's go ahead and watch awkward Roger.
Let me ask you guys a question too. Like you can answer it after the video. But do you guys think there are gonna be more black coaches and black owners, like in the future?
Oh, is that a question to us?
Yep. To y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you fix the situation. I listen to Michael Lombardi's podcast a lot, and he talks about, you know, there really isn't great training for NFL coaches right now. It's kind of an elected role. He said it's harder to be an NFL coach than it is to be a U.S. senator. If you think about the number of seats there are, right? So, you know, it's almost kind of like the new guy, the next person up is usually somebody from within, right? Like the next person who's been politicking the whole time. Or if they go out and get another name, it's like a sexy name, right? Now, there's got to be some bigotry because somebody like Eric Bieniemy, hasn't been hired. He's a very qualified NFL. He's the Chiefs offensive coordinator. I think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
The other question though is like, how does he interview? Maybe he hasn't been given the adequate amount of training, and maybe that goes for the entirety of the NFL. Because I mean, you look at how tone deaf. First of all, like societal intelligence. How many tone deaf coaches there are? Maybe not so many now as there were, 5-10 years ago. You look at front offices that are tone deaf and dumb. There's just not really great culture. There's not great training. There's not good teaching. Here's how you do it. It's usually the next man up, or somebody from the Belichick chain. Like an O'Brien.
Right.
I think we all know where we all stand on him. So it's a lopsided system. I think there should be more, yeah, but I really don't know how you fix it. I think some of it could be systemic, but I think also some of it could be they're just not getting the proper opportunities below that level, which I guess maybe that's even systemic.
Right, from the ground up. Right.
So
yeah.
What about you, Chance? Oh.
But I would say, like you just said, like they're not getting the opportunities from the ground up. I mean, that shit really kind of hard to answer right now. Your question, Jack, that you asked it because I don't know. It kind of actually proves to you also that there is like a lot of systemic racism and not only fucking government and policing and shit like that, but it's just like the system, period. And I mean, not only for shit in the NFL. I mean, not only for like people like that black or shit like that, but I mean, shit. How many like Hispanic head coaches can you name? How many Indian head coaches can you name? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's people. People of all races that play football. Here in America, like, I mean, shit, we all play football, coming up in school and shit. And like we've seen it. I mean, our coaches, what I'm saying, were of all different like races and shit like that too.
Except for Persian.
What I remember. So
Persian, shout out.
Yeah, like so, it goes down. I mean, it's from like you said, it's from the bottom up. So I mean, it's just a cultural and societal change needs to kind of happen at this time, and just it all goes back to that. But I mean, at least like you said, at least they're trying. You know what I'm saying? Because they could like, say face and not say shit because like they've been doing. But I guess since this is such a big movement and like everybody's kind of like seeing what's going on because everybody's like that are out at these protests. Black, white, other are kind of getting fucked up out there. Like beat with shoes and batons and shit like that. So
yeah. And I just think that maybe this will be a start of it. It's going to be a slow start, but they are going to start paying attention now, giving people of color, more opportunities. Like you said, Chance, Native Americans or indigenous, excuse me, Asians, like whatever, just giving everybody like opportunities to like shine because there's a lot of qualified coaches out there that are all colors. Like you said, we're in high school coming up. We saw all colors, it just wasn't that big of a deal, but that wasn't as grand of a level as NFL is, unfortunately, So, I don't know, man. I think that everybody wants to be on the right side of history. That's why they're speaking up. They don't want to go back in time and be like, damn, we should have spoke up. We should have did something. So that's why I kind of think everybody's coming out with stuff too,
True.